Sign up today to catch all the major Cropover events live online on cropover.cbc.bb. We've got you covered. Soca Monarch Finals, $53 or $26 US. Pick of the Crop Finals, $62 or $30 US. And Grand Kadooment, $22 Barbados dollars or $11 US. Don't be left out. Log on now to cropover.cbc.bb and book. CBC, taking Cropover to the world.
A very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lord, and in our news, the NHC has found the funds to fix wells in its housing estates. The public told not to get alarmed over some of the biodegradable food containers now on the market. A gas leak forced an evacuation at the Randall Phillips Polyclinic today. And in sports, the Sir Everton Centre of Excellence are champions of the Sir Gary International Schools Cricket.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC Newsnight, starting now.
In our top story, the National Housing Corporation has received a much-needed financial boost towards its well-fixing efforts. This was disclosed by Minister in the Ministry of Housing, Lands and Rural Development, Charles Griffith, during a Barbados Labour Party Christchurch East Central Branch meeting in Wharton over the weekend. Mr. Griffith says officials have been touring the estates weekly to determine which wells are in need of attention. He notes that the focus is having them repaired, especially now at summertime when many children are at home and playing outside.
We're actively involved in the process of repairing those wells. We have identified those ones that were deemed to be absolutely critical, and measures are being put in place. There's a $2 million injection into the National Housing Corporation specifically to deal with fixing those wells and septic tanks that we consider to be problematic within the estates.
Mr. Griffith revealed that the well repair program will include employment opportunities for residents of the various estates. Well, although some of the biodegradable containers currently in use have tested positive for elevated levels of fluorine, Minister of Maritime Affairs and the Blue Economy, Kirk Humphrey, says there is no need for an alarm to be raised. Speaking on the sidelines of a sensitization workshop this morning, he notes that the same containers are also being used worldwide. Mr. Humphrey explains fluorine is present in different types of packaging. Now, following the results of the tests, which were carried out by his ministry, he says discussions have been held with suppliers to encourage them to source containers with lower fluorine levels.
We've asked the suppliers, therefore, to go back and for every shipment that they bring in, they have to give us the composition, what's inside the containers, and that we will continue to do testing. But I should also say that, for example, the model that we're following closely is the Washington State model. And what Washington State has done, because this is an international issue, it's not a Barbados issue, and what Washington State has done is that they've said they will give until the year 2022 to allow PFA containers to be used, and obviously this is in the U.S. to allow these PFA containers to be used, and that after that point, if the world has gotten to a place where it can use other containers, then they will then implement a ban.
Mr. Humphrey stresses there is no need to return to using styrofoam as the high fluorine levels are not a health risk.
There's no risk immediately of you eating from any of these containers, and it would cause you some health risks immediately. The reality is that the PFA level speaks more so to the compostability of the container. And what they found is that sometimes when these containers compost, over time, the amount of PFAs that is found in the soil or plants that grow from it contains the same PFA that would have been in the container. But that's a long-term process consequent on composting. That's not the issue here. So we want to determine if when the containers in Barbados that people are using, when they break down, how much of that concentration of PFA actually gets into the food. What are the long-term effects of that?
Information Minister Senator Lucille Moe has reminded the media of the role it plays in the promotion of the Cropover Festival. Speaking on the sidelines of the big show Calypso tent, which she attended along with Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley, Senator Moe said the media is integral in the perception of the festival.
The media in Barbados, I think, are extremely good. they tend to be, for the main part, responsible and understand their role. So once again, I would like to say to the media that just to ensure that you're responsible in your reporting, be fair, always be cognizant that your message goes out not just here in Barbados, but worldwide, because in this day and age, everything that we do and say is worldwide. So, but I know the media knows this, and I know that, as I said, I have the utmost confidence in them, and I'm sure that they will continue to maintain the high standards that they've been maintaining over the years, and they will do the same thing with this crop over. And of course, they'll be extremely fair in their reporting and their coverage of the events.
Barbadian child singing sensation Trinity Clark is back on home soil after capturing 1 gold and 2 silver medals in the 13 to 15 category at the World Championships of Performing Arts in Hollywood, California. Our Shane Jones has the story of her big return this evening.
It was a truly beautiful occasion at the Grantley Adams International Airport as cheerleaders with artwork, family, friends, well-wishers, and entertainers all turned up to show their support and to congratulate the Alexander student for her amazing feat. It was big smiles from Trinity and tears from Mum Corrine as they came through the arrival hall to a fantastic welcome home. Trinity's gold came in pop, while she was awarded silver in gospel and original works.
My godmother, Auntie Marcia, told us about WOCOPA, and because I've been doing a lot of things here, she recommended me going overseas to represent Barbados, and then my mom made further arrangements with different people, and I just got to Los Angeles.
And this is the Popular Marcia Weeks we're talking about?
Yeah.
What was qualifying like?
It was good. I was a little nervous at first because I didn't know the people, so I got through eventually.
Mum Corrine Clark, who got a gold and silver herself, says it's Barbados' first time entering the competition in its 23-year history. She believes the exposure will open new doors for Trinity.
We have the opportunity to get in contact with talent agencies and record labels. We actually have some that have shown interest in her, and so we're looking to pursue that. What I want to add, though, however, as well, is that WOCOPA acknowledges Rihanna as our ambassador. And I believe that because Rihanna has been acknowledged and regarded highly, that Barbados needs to invest in this project on an annual basis and have a larger contingent. The competition is not just for vocalists, dancers, singers, actors, models, acrobats, you name it.
Edwin Yearwood was one of the entertainers who came out to support, and he says Trinity is the real deal.
We're dealing with the young people. You're dealing with a multi-talented young lady that I don't think we in Barbados recognize how really talented she is. And if we get behind this young lady, what can happen for her? I think that the sky is not even the limit for this young lady.
So congrats again to Trinity Clark. 1 gold and 2 silver medals at the World Championships of Performing Arts. Shane Jones, CBC News.
Staff and patients at the Randall Phillips Polyclinic at Oistins had to be evacuated this morning after they complained of a strong odor of gas in the building. The fire service was called in just after 10 to try to detect the source of the scent, which one staffer told CBC News first surfaced on Friday. Some staff members reported cases of burning eyes, mouths and throats, while others complained of chest pain. Fortunately, no one had to seek medical attention. CBC understands the clinic was closed for the remainder of the day while the problem was investigated. 4 officers from the Worthing station under the command of Station Officer Anthony King responded to that call. Despite a recent announcement by Prime Minister Mia Motley that Barbados is looking to offload its majority shares in Liat, the country remains committed to the regional carrier. This assurance from Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM David Comachong. Ambassador Comachong was a guest on CBC TV8's The People's Business. Our Sharika Griffith reports.
Negotiations with the government of Antigua and Barbuda on the proposed sale of most of Barbados' shares in Liat started earlier this month. But even though Barbados is willing to reduce its 47% stake in the airline, Barbados' ambassador to CARICOM David Comachong says the country remains committed to the regional carrier.
Prime Minister Motley has worked very hard to ensure that Liat did not go under recently, and to get other CARICOM governments that are not shareholders to invest in Liat, to develop a new modus operandi for Liat where if Liat has an unprofitable route, if your country is being serviced but it's an unprofitable route, and you want it to continue, you being the government wants it to continue, that you will now subsidize it. So we're trying to get to a new model for the operation of Liat that will make it financially viable.
Ambassador Komashong was part of the 3-member panel on CBC TV8's current affairs program, The People's Business, who joined moderator Peter Thorne to discuss Barbados' CARICOM relations. During the discussion, political analyst Peter Wickham took issue with the University of the West Indies' decision to duplicate faculties across its 3 main campuses, a practice he believes does not make sense financially.
The whole concept of a regional university where you had relevance for Barbados in law, relevance for Trinidad and Tobago in agriculture and engineering, relevance for Jamaica in medicine. That whole thing has been violated and it's all over the place. Well, you have Grenada, which is now, well, before Ross moved to Barbados, the Center for Offshore Education in the Caribbean, you know, and that has been going along very nicely. And I'm saying that the magic of the UE thing, to me, has been lost.
Historian Trevor Marshall believes Barbados must do more to help CARICOM's most impoverished member state, Haiti.
It is a place with 50% illiteracy, high school education is minimal, university education is a geographical expression. And I'm wondering if Barbados, with its surplus of highly educated but inadequately reimbursed people or young graduates, if we could not, Mr. Ambassador, send some of our young graduates to Haiti, almost like the American Peace Corps.
Haiti has a population of 11 million, more than all the other CARICOM countries combined. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Regional news now on Public Security Minister Kemraj Ramjatan says that violent crimes in Guyana are solvable but require a totally different approach if positive results are to be guaranteed. HGPTV's Javon Vickery tells us more.
There has not been any statistical data coming from the police force concerning crime in Ghana. Despite the withdrawal of this information, it was Commissioner of Police Leslie James last month who stated that there was no spike in crimes. In recent times, money changers have been the target of criminals who have used full force to get loot. While some have been caught and placed before the courts, others have managed to continuously escape under the watchful eyes of the police. However, on Thursday, Public Security Minister Kemraj Ramjatan stated that violent crimes continue to be perpetrated against all facets of society. He had this view on how the problem could be fixed.
I will start by saying that violent crime is a solvable problem. We may never get the homicide rate down to Singapore or Kuwait or Iceland, where it is below one person or one homicide for 100,000 per year, 100 persons per year.
Minister Ramjatan further stated that in the Caribbean and Latin America, the homicide rates are usually high, with several factors that contribute to the violent nature of crimes committed in the region.
A British man who hurled abuse at cabin staff, forcing the captain of a Mexico-bound charter flight to divert to Bermuda yesterday, has been fined $6,500 in a magistrate's court. 42-year-old Edward Mongan from Manchester was handed the fine today by Senior Magistrate Juan Wolf. Mongan admitted using abusive words, threatening behavior, and interfering with the duties of a flight attendant. Magistrate Wolf told Mongan that his behavior terrorized the passengers and crew of that plane.